All right, let's jump right into this explainer on Delphi World Lab. It's a really powerful tool, and its whole goal is to make your data workflow, well, a whole lot faster.
Okay, if you're a developer, you know this story all too well. You get a big chunk of JSON data, maybe from an API, a log file, who knows where, and you've got to make sense of it like right now. And it usually feels like you're just staring at a wall of brackets and quotes, right? Well, today, we're going to check out a tool that promises to turn all that chaos into pure clarity with basically a single click. Let's see how it holds up. So, take a look at this. On the left, yeah, that's the site we all know, and well, we know it. Raw, messy JSON in a text editor. But on the right, that is the exact same data, but transformed into this beautiful, clean, structured, and interactive table inside Delphi World Lab. I mean, if you are tired of trying to parse JSON in your head or writing little one-off scripts just to see what's going on, you are going to absolutely love this.
So how do we get from that messy text to a perfect table? The magic here is a tool called Delphi World Lab, or DWL for short. We're about to walk through a workflow that takes that raw JSON right from your clipboard and turns it into an interactive table, and I mean literally in seconds. No code, no complicated setup.
And it all starts right here. Super simple. It doesn't matter where your JSON is coming from. It could be a single object, it could be a whole array of objects. You just select it all and hit copy. That's it. Step one, done. Your data is now on the clipboard, and it's ready for the magic. Next, you just pop over to Delphi World Lab, you go up to the Clip menu, and you select this one. Incredibly powerful command. Paste JSON object/array as memtable nested dataset. Now, I know, that is a bit of a mouthful, but all it really means is turn whatever's on my clipboard into a smart table that totally understands nested data. And bam! Just like that, it's done. The second you click that menu item, DWL parses everything from your clipboard and loads it into an in-memory dataset, presenting it to you as this perfectly structured grid. The key here is that this happened instantly. You didn't write a single line of parsing code. But here is where things get really, really cool. We're not just viewing the data anymore, we're now actively working with it. You see, this table isn't some static preview. It's a fully fledged live dataset that you can edit, restructure, and transform right there inside the application. So, what can you actually do with it? Well, let's say you have first name and last name fields and you want to combine them. No problem. You can just add a new full name field on the fly. Then you can run a simple SQL update command right on this in-memory table to fill it in. After that, just remove the original first and last name columns to tidy things up, and when you're all done, you can export your newly shaped data back out as a clean JSON array. How cool is that? All right, simple key-value pairs are one thing, but we all know real-world JSON gets, well, complicated. It gets messy with nested objects and arrays, and this is honestly where a lot of data viewers just fall apart, but it's where DWL really starts to shine. Let's see how it handles the kind of nested data that usually gives us headaches. And this just shows you exactly how it handles that complexity. Notice how some of these cells, like contact info and languages, are marked as dataset? Well, those aren't just text, they're clickable links. Clicking on one of them opens up a brand new view showing you the nested data inside. It makes navigating these deep hierarchical structures incredibly easy. You just drill down layer by layer. Okay, viewing and editing JSON like this is already a massive time saver. But what if you could take it one giant leap further? What if you could take this data that you just manipulated and instantly generate the code you need to use it in your actual project? This, my friends, is the feature that elevates DWL from just a handy utility to a true developer's superpower. And it's not just for one language either. Whether you're working in Delphi, building a web frontend with JavaScript, doing some scripting with Python, or working on a PHP backend, DWL can generate that boilerplate code for you, and it adapts to the specific syntax for each one. So check out that Delphi example. It takes your final edited JSON and wraps it perfectly in a multi-line string literal, all ready to be assigned to a variable. Just think about how much time this saves. No more manually escaping quotes, no more concatenating a bunch of strings together. You just copy this block and paste it directly into your IDE. And the tool is smart enough to adapt. For Python, it knows to use the correct triple quote syntax for multi-line strings. For JavaScript or PHP, it just gives you the clean JSON, which you can easily assign to a const or pass into a decoding function. It actually understands the context of the language you're targeting. So let's bring this all home. What we've just seen is a completely new way to think about working with JSON. It's a workflow that is designed from the ground up for speed, for clarity, and for developer productivity. It turns what's often a really tedious task into a seamless three-step process. So really, it all boils down to this simple and incredibly powerful loop. Paste, edit, generate. You paste your raw JSON to instantly understand it. You view and edit it in a super user-friendly table, even if it's deeply nested. And finally, you generate ready-to-use source code for your project. It's a workflow that just makes sense. Look, a tool like this really changes how a developer interacts with data. It transforms what is often a passive, frustrating task into an active, creative, and just unbelievably efficient process. So the real question is, how much time could a workflow like this save you on your very next project?
So let's kick things off by talking about a frustration I'm sure we've all felt. You know the drill, right? The complex connection strings, the server setups, the config files, all that hassle just to take a quick look at your own information? Drag and drop. You literally grab a database file from a folder, drop it into the app, and bam, it's open. It's ready. No messing with connection strings, no server installs needed. And look, we're not just talking about one or two file types. This works for a whole range of common, everyday data sources. You've got your SQLite, your MS Access files, even old ones, Firebird SQL, and of course your standard CSVs and JSON files. But here's where it gets really cool. It's how it handles a notoriously tricky one, Firebird SQL. Now, if you've ever had to deal with different versions, you know the pain of incompatible on-disk structures, or ODS. It can be a real headache. Well, DDL just solves it. It automatically figures out the version, uses the right libraries, and opens it. From version 1 all the way up to version 5. It turns that nightmare scenario into a simple drag and drop.
And that brings us to the third killer feature, which shows off some serious database architecture chops. It's the ability to run heterogeneous queries. That's a fancy way of saying you can run queries that join data from totally different, completely disconnected sources. Just imagine this for a second. You've got customer data sitting in a live SQL database. Then you've got a separate CSV file with their location info. Inside DWL, you can load that CSV into a temporary in-memory table and then write a single SQL query that joins the physical database table with your temporary one. It actually uses an integrated SQLite engine as a local hub to pull this off, all on the fly. It's brilliant.
You've pulled your data in, you've mixed it all together, you've transformed it. Now what? You gotta get it out. And getting it out is just as easy. And you have a ton of options here. I mean, you've got your usual suspects like CSV and JSON, but you can also generate a full SQL script of insert statements, create really nice looking tables in Markdown or HTML for documentation, or just get plain old console text. And for all you developers, it can even spit out source code snippets to drop that data right into your Delphi, JavaScript, Python, or PHP projects. Delphi World Lab is what we call portable software. So what does that actually mean? It means zero installation, none. It doesn't mess with the Windows registry or leave files all over your system. You can literally just pop the whole thing on a USB stick, walk up to any Windows machine, plug it in, and run it. Instantly. Your entire data toolkit travels right there with you.
So it really boils down to one fundamental question for your business. Are you looking for a ready-made technical asset to jumpstart your product roadmap? Or are you looking for the senior talent who can design and build more assets like this for you?
So whether you're interested in the code or the creator who wrote it, the next step is a simple, direct conversation. Here's the contact information for the developer, Giovanni Tossati. The opportunity is right there on the table.